Hey guys, welcome back. It's Dave. This is my second video that applies to putting AI into the thorough capping models. And the last time that we were together, I had introduced what I was doing as far as stumbling upon the Chat GPT, learning what it can do, use it as a teacher, and then all of a sudden a light bulb went off one day, and I was just like, I wonder how much this thing knows about horse racing and what I can do to our models here, and as far as working together with it, see what we come out. And as you saw in the last video, if you watched it, it was kind of groundbreaking in my opinion. I got excited about it, and what I wanted to do is I wanted to put a second video out there, just to let you know where I am right now with this endeavor. Now, I'm still using the matrix system model and not the pace progression model. It's not that I abandoned using pace progression. It's just that right now my focus is on continuing to utilize the ChatGPT, and the matrix model is a lot easier as far as defining the factors and what to do with them and everything like that. And before I go over to really the main focus of this video, I'm going to take a look at the grid that I settled on, that I've been using, and I've been using very successfully. And this video is not meant to be dragged out to where I'm showing you all my results from the past few days. But I will tell you that in the last couple days, I've probably wagered about $160, and I've returned almost close to $500. And that's good because again, as I mentioned before, I'm a small player. I'm not betting 50 to win on horses. I'm not playing $5 doubles or $10 doubles. I'm playing base minimums. But the grid we're using, we're looking at target rating, ability rating, the turn time converted to a rating, the final turn, the early rating, which I'm just basing right off the second call of the race. And remember, in a sprint race, the second call is the half mile. In a route race, the second call is the 6 furlong or 3/4. We have a late rating that's based off of the final fraction only. I have my Beyer Cume, and what I've been doing with the Beyer Cumes is I've been taking the last 3 races, and I've been using the last race, unless I toss the last race for whatever reason, and averaging it out with one of the next 2. Okay, so this one would be a 69, 62. That would be a 7-point difference. So we would have 3.5. This would be a 65.5 average there for that Beyer Cume. Then we have the running styles. I've been labeling running styles by numbers. 1 being a front runner, all the way up to 4 being, late closer. Class, I've been identifying class as 0, meaning they're moving up in class. 1, it's running at the same level. 2, it's a drop in class. And then I've also been using the 0.5, 1.5 system to separate as far as how much of a jump it's moving and how much of a drop it's taken as well. And I've even been going as high as 3 sometimes when I see a significant drop, such as a horse that's been running in allowance races now dropping down to a lower level claimer. I might even give that horse a 3 for class. And then I've been identifying turn moves. Okay, these are my qualitative factors, and those of you who are familiar with the matrix system, it's expressed in both the book and the tutorial that the matrix system is made up of a combination of quantitative and qualitative factors. And these are mainly our qualitative factors over here. And I've also been tying in the money percentage. And being that it's so early in the year, I've been tying in 24 and 25. So this would be 12, 2, 3. This would be 3 out of 12. So we would have a 25% into money percentage for this particular runner here. And then once it's done, I've just been throwing the grid into the ChatGPT, and it's been following my instructions. So let me just show you. I've updated my instructions. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to this particular sheet in the comment section of this video. And all you got to do, guys, is just copy it all and paste it right into the the GPT, and I'll show you that it actually worked already. So what I did was I created a new project, and I copied exactly what I just showed you, and I put it in, pasted it right into the GPT. So it's kind of like code, really, but it's not any type of computer language code. It's just the code for what you want the AI generator to do with the information. Now it's confirmed that the model is fully structured, and what I'll do is I'll throw a grid in there real fast, and you'll see what it's actually going to do with the grid. Let's throw a race in. Tampa Bay won today. I was playing around a little at work. I wasn't betting, but I was just, during lunch, I was playing around with the model a bit. And let's throw this in there and see what it tells us. Where's this at here? And you'll see what kind of information it's spitting back at you. And as I mentioned in the other video, the first video, you can continue to train this model to do what you want it to do. If it's not providing enough information for you, you could ask it to please, can you list more than one contender that's coming from the back of the pack? Or whatever. I'm just throwing out examples there. And it will do that. Okay, if you're at a particular race and you're just interested in the leader, you could say, analyze this race and please just tell me who the leader is going to be. And that's it. It will tell that. It will do that for you. But if you notice, what it'll do is it starts out with just reproducing the grid that you put in. And as you go along the line, what I did was I added a race shape graph to it. And if you look at this race shape graph, along the x-axis we have early speed. And it tells you the top 4 or 5 from each category, late speed and early speed. So the further to the right and the further up, you're looking at horse with good early speed and late speed. If you're looking at a horse down here and he's only far to the right but he's low, he's high. Like for example, this 7 horse right now has the top early speed, but at the same time, he's lower than these others in the late rating. And it's also telling you now, based off my grid, where they should be in the race as well. This one horse is a front runner, but yet at the same time, the one horse doesn't look like it's matches up well with some of the early ratings on these other horses. So he may not have the lead today. So some of you may want to just use this only as your analysis and say, okay, do we look like we have a lot of early pressure here? It doesn't seem like it because we have one horse dominating the 7 horse with the early speed, and the next highest from there would be like an 80, probably an 89. Yeah, an 89. There. Let me move this down so you can see a little better. And also, you can see that it's also showing you the other running styles for these horses. Presser, Stalker, Closer. And I had mentioned I have these numbered in the graph. But as you go further, it should show me more than that. So I'm glad it did this. Can I get a more, come on, work with me, more thorough analysis of this race? And you'll see that it's going to answer right away. Okay, so it analyzes your grid. Now you're getting your thorough analysis. It's telling you the 7 or the 5 could be the speed of the speed at the top of the lane based on the early rating, the turn, and their running styles. Gives you a general idea of what it thinks the pace setup may look like. Projected race flow. And then it's key contenders and why. Okay? It's telling you why the 5 horse is key contender. The average power rating, when you average out all the quantitative factors, is an 89.67. And so forth. I don't have to read. You guys can pause and read on your own. It's telling you who the target and ability horses are in this race. Projected speed of speed. And again, I define the speed of speed as the horse that's going to be in the lead at the top of the lane, or the projected horse. Horses that are coming off moves on the turn, and also the class droppers. And then under here, as you'll see, it'll rank the 5 contenders based on how it feels. Now, the good part about this is this: if you throw the results in when the race is over, this AI model continues to train itself, and it will ask you questions such as, in the future, when I see a race with more than 3 speed horses, would you like me to put a little more weight on the horses that are, should most likely be mid-pack or late and so on? And you can put yes or no. You don't have to follow its instructions every single time. And I also have this set up to give a suggested trifecta structure as well. But you can put anything you want. If you're an Exacta player, you could type in and say, please finish every analysis with a suggested Exacta wheel or Exacta key or superfecta or whatnot, okay? And it finishes off with its final thought. So it's really, really cool. And if we take a look, give me a second. Sorry, I was going to look at something, but I don't have it there anymore. And I don't feel like going into my folders and opening up. And my computer's running slow. I have so much opened up on my screen right now. But this is pretty much what you're going to get, along with anything else that you ask it for. So now we get back to how schooled are you in using this particular grid that we're using, which is the matrix system grid. Well, I am convinced that a number of you, loyal viewers, I should say, are also owners of the matrix system tutorial. In fact, I've gotten a lot of emails from people that have said I also have your matrix system model as well, and I've gotten questions such as, what is a good way to combine, all your different models together? Because we have the follow the figures model as well, which I haven't really opened that up in a while, and that might be a good supplement to this particular grid when using this AI as well. But I do have a link to both the model instructions, as I showed you. And all you got to do is open up this document. And if it does not allow you to copy, just go to File, make a copy, and create your own copy. And you'll be able to do whatever you want with it. And just plug that right into your ChatGPT. Now, one thing I didn't mention last time is you may want to create a login. Okay, ChatGPT is free. I went and actually purchased the next level model because it allows me to do more with it. The free, it allows you to put so much information in at one point. I should say use it for a period of time, and then it tells you that you cannot use it anymore for an extended, maybe 2 hours, you're allowed to go back on again. But for $20 a month, if you become pretty savvy with it, I feel it's worth it. So I'm paying the $20 a month so I can have a limited usage of it. So that if I want to go and handicap an entire track and 10 races, then I'm going to be able to use it for the full 10 races, and I don't have to go and take a 2-hour break before I start putting races 5 through 10 in. But to go back to what I was saying before, if you are not a user of the matrix system or an owner of it, I do have a link for the product store if you want to purchase the matrix system. And those that do have it, maybe you just look at it, brush up on it, and get these factors down pat again. It takes me about, honestly, probably this race right here, I scratched a lot of races there, so I mean, I didn't. But this race right here, one scratch, took me about maybe 10 to 12 minutes to handicap. But again, everybody's time is going to be different. There is the mental calculations again, the target rating. But if you're using the PP generator still, again, you have your options. You could set it for showing the horses' fractions and not the leaders' fractions. And you don't have to worry about adjusting to lengths behind, lengths gained. So you could look at this race right here and say, okay, 6 furlongs of 113 and 3 off of 108 is a 72 target rating. 25, 26, 27, 28 from 172. Where if you're using regular past performances now, you would have to go and find out how many lengths behind at the finish he was and subtract another 11. So that's a step that's taken out of there when you're using PP Generator, which I think a lot of you are, especially those of you in the Discord. Now, the final note I want to make here is one that I'm even more excited about. If you look at my projects here, I have a project titled Thorough Capping Model Code. And what I did was, I asked, let me see, I should have code in here. I asked the GPT to, are you able to write code for me if I were to define what my factors, how I get my factors and how I use them? And it said yes. So show me my model code, and let's see if it knows what I'm talking about here. Should be able to show me the code that it's put in there to this point, hopefully. Or I'm going to have to find it in my older model and scroll up and find it and paste it back in here again. I'm going to pause this just so you're not sitting here waiting. All right, error in the message, retry. Let me figure out what's going on here for a second. Okay, here we go. There was just a little hiccup. But as you can see, this actually wrote code for me. For every one of these factors now on the grid, the matrix grid. And once it's done producing all this code, what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it right now and see where it's at. What is the target rating for a 1, 11, and 3 in a 6 furlong race? Well, we should come out with an 82. And this is the first time I'm testing it since I transferred it into this new project. So I may have to do some tweaking to it. Should come out with an 82. Let's see. $83.5. So there is a tweak that has to be made there. It's probably reading, again, it's probably reading that 0.3 as tenths of seconds instead of fifths of seconds. See if it understands what I say. And it's going to get a chance to see how smart this thing is. And it's AI, so I don't have to tell you how smart it is. 3 actually means, sorry, 1, 11, and 3/5 seconds. So now if we get the 82, let's see if we get the 82. So it should be doing the calculation now. What is the target rating? There we go, 82. Okay, so what I just done, so I can now instruct it to please recognize all future times in 1/5 seconds. And it should tell me I got it. From now on, I will recognize. So there we go. So what I'm getting at here is we are one step closer to creating the program that will do the handicapping for you. Now, here's my question to you guys as viewers. I'm hoping that there's somebody out there that can tell me where I can take this code and put it to move to the next step on creating the actual program. Can I do that in Google Sheets? Because I know Google Sheets and Excel have AI functions where, or not AI functions, but, code. Because my goal is to eventually be able to download a data file from Brisnet or DRF, put it right into Excel, and let this code do its job, and let these grids print out the way they are so that I can copy them and throw them right into the ChatGPT, or let the code analyze it as well and just come out right away with the results I'm looking for. So if there's any of you guys that have suggestions on how to do it, or can point me in the right direction to a really good video on, again, where I can take this code and move to the next step on creating that program, that would be great, because it's not only going to help me, it's going to help you guys that use it as well. All right, thanks for tuning in. Again, there's going to be 2 links in the comments. 1 for the AI model instructions, and 2 for the Matrix system in the product store if you're interested in climbing on board. And as I said before, I am not abandoning the pace progression model. That's going to be the next project here in the AI, where I could throw a pace progression model grid in there and it can analyze it as well. And hopefully, once I learn how to put together an actual program, I would like to do a combined grid of the pace progression, the follow the figures, and the matrix system, so that the AI has a ton of information to look at. And we'll be home after that, hopefully. I mean, we'll see. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your comments, questions, anything that you might have to add to this. And you will see me in the near future, because I am, again, excited about this. It's new material. It's not me just revisiting old stuff. This is new stuff to me. It's new stuff to you. I know I've gotten a lot of comments in the Discord. I've gotten a couple emails from people saying how excited they are about it. And your excitement raises my level of excitement as well. All right, so I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in.